Okay, hello everyone. I hope everyone is fine. So, today we will take on our next chapter, which is on optics. So, about optics, we have already discussed many more things in our earlier classes, especially in 10th class. So, optics, let us try to understand it, what optics is first. So, optics is nothing but the study of light. So, by carrying out the study of light, we come across understanding the different phenomena which are undergone by the light. So, all these phenomena can be understood on the basis of this study, which is called as optics, the study of the light. Uh, in earlier times, the light was defined by Aristotle and then by the Newton. Newton considered the light, or we can say Aristotle in before that considered the light something, or actually it was not Aristotle who talked about light first, but it was the Newton. Aristotle was of idea that eyes of the observer throws something on the object, and which on reflecting back from the object comes back again to the eyes, and hence we are able to see the objects. So this was what idea was of the Aristotle in earlier times. Then in 17th centuries, Newton has proposed corpuscular theory of the light. So this theory is known on the in the name of the Newton. So he was the first to observe this theory of the light, propose this theory of the light. So what this theory of light is? So Aristotle made this observation in around 384 to 322 BC, that we see the world by sending something out of our eyes, and that reflect from the object. However, with the passage of time and with scientific approach, in 17th centuries, a different approach was carried out to understand the we can say behavior of the light. So mainly there were two scientists who proposed the different theories of light according to their understanding and observations. Newton, he was the scientist which was already established at that time. So he was of the idea that light travels in the form of the small particles, and it is the way in which light travel, and hence light shows the different phenomena of the light, just like reflection, refraction, etc. Right? Then after that, Huygens proposed the theory of the light to be not just not a particle but as a wave. However, at that time, the Newton was successfully explaining the different phenomena based on his theory, and hence he was of the idea, and he was believed the most. However, Christian Huygens also proposed a theory of light, which is the wave theory of light, which we will discuss after some time or after some classes. But he was at that time was not able to prove his point. Okay, so that means the theory of light, what was supposed or observed by the Newton and proposed by the Newton, was taken in the scientific world. And what theory is that? That light travels in the form of small particles. So in 17th century, there were some properties about the light which were already known, that light have different colors, light can travel through vacuum, light can be reflected and refracted. So these were things which were already known. Okay, so based on the corpuscular theory, this theory of the light proposed by Newton, it is called as the corpuscular theory of light or particle theory of the light. The Newton assumes the light to be traveling in the form of the small particles which cause every and all kinds of the phenomena. So with that theory, he explained the different questions regarding the light, why light travels in straight lines, why does light have different colors, and why can light travel through the vacuum, even through the vacuum? All these questions were understood on the basis of the Newton's theory of the light. So therefore, and on the other hand, Huygens was not able to prove his point at that point, that light is in the form of the wave. Okay, so on the other hand, Newton made different experiments and proved his point of the light to be the uh, particle nature. Okay, so according to the Newton, light travels in the form of the small particles called as corpuscles. These small particles are given the name corpuscles or corpuscles. He proposed his particle theory of the light, or this is also called as the corpuscular theory of the light, right, to explain the different phenomena shown by the light. Okay, so how he has summed up his theory of the light? Number one, he pointed out that he made the conclusion that light consists of very tiny particles. These tiny particles are called as the corpuscles. Every illuminescent source like sun or candle, illuminescent means the source which emit the light, it emits these corpuscles, right, corpuscles. Another point is that these corpuscles on the emission from the source of the light travel in straight lines with high velocity in all possible directions. These corpuscles, after getting emitted out from the source of the light, they travel in all possible directions. So if in space there is some source of light, just like this is the bulb, the light travels in a spherical space along the straight lines with very high velocity. So this was the second observation proposed by the Newton about his corpuscular theory of the light. Third, when these particles enter the eyes, they produce image of the object or sensation of vision. So it is due to these particles which, when enter the eye, they produce the sensation of vision, right? Another thing about the corpuscular theory of the light is that corpuscles of the different colors have different sizes. Means this is the violet light, this is the indigo, and then the blue, and just like other lights, red, yellow, green, and orange. So all these different colors have different corpuscles, or we can say corpuscles of different sizes. So this was what corpuscles theory of light proposed by Newton says. So Newton's particle theory of light or corpuscular theory of the light had a great explanatory power than the Huygens at that time, right? And therefore he proved his point and dominated the we can say subject of optics, means study of light, during the 17th and 18th century. Even at when later stage it was come to know that Huygens was more correct than the Newton about the theory of the light, which we will study about the wave theory of light after some classes. So this was the theory proposed by the Huygens, right? Sorry, not Huygens but Newton. So this was the Newton's theory, corpuscular theory of light. Okay, so far we have discussed about the basic idea of Newton's corpuscular theory of the light. So here we are discussing optics on the basis of corpuscular theory of the light. This is also called as the ray theory of light, right? So theory of light. So in first hand, whatever we discuss, it is the ray theory of the light, or light travels in the form of the rays or straight lines. This is the Newton's corpuscular theory of the light. So light show different kind of phenomena, just like reflection. Light also shows refraction. You already have discussed these phenomena in your lower classes, of course qualitatively. Then light shows dispersion. Then light also shows scattering. These are the things which we have already discussed. Light also shows Tyndall effect. Light also shows interference. diffraction, and then light also shows polarization. Light is a form of electromagnetic wave which we just have discussed, and light also shows polarization phenomena because light is transverse in nature, as we have discussed in our earlier class. So these phenomena we have already discussed, and these are the phenomena which can be explained easily on the basis of ray theory of the light, right? However, other three phenomena which are also shown by the light cannot be successfully or correctly explained by the ray theory of the light, for which the Huygens proposed the theory that why light is showing these three phenomena, it is due to the wave nature of the light, not because the particle nature of the light. So it is due to the wave nature of the light. So that there we will try to understand these three phenomena on the basis of wave theory of the light, right? So this is the difference. So in the first hand we will try to understand these phenomena, and then we will move to the next theory of the light, which is wave theory of the light, and we will try to understand what wrong thing was there with the ray theory of the light. However, ray theory of light successfully and correctly explains these phenomena: reflection, refraction, dispersion, scattering, and Tyndall effect. There was no problem in explaining these phenomena on the basis of the ray theory of the light. The problem was the ray theory of light could not explain the other three phenomena: interference, diffraction, and polarization, right? So it was not completely wrong to assume the ray theory of the light, because it can easily explain these phenomena as shown here. So here in this chapter we will take these phenomena one by one under the ray theory of the light. So let us take the first phenomena shown by the light, which is the reflection of the light. Many things you already have discussed in your earlier class. So reflection of the light. So reflection of the light is nothing but the bouncing back of the light from a surface. So bouncing back of the light means light whenever strike a surface or an opaque object, it get reflected back, right? Or we can say it get bounced back after striking the surface. So this phenomena is called as the reflection of the light. But this is not a straightforward phenomena, just light follow any possible direction, but light whenever get reflected from an opaque surface, it follows two important laws called as laws of reflection. As I have discussed already, you know about these laws of reflection. Many things. Suppose that this is some surface, this is the opaque surface, this is reflecting surface, the upper surface is reflecting, right? So light whenever is incident on this surface, which can be shown with by making an arrow with the incident ray. So this ray is called as the incident ray. It follows some rules and get reflected back, right? So at the point of incidence we draw a perpendicular line which is nothing but the normal. It is called as the normal, and this point where incidence light meets the surface, this is called as the point of incidence, point O. We are giving it point O name. So this is the perpendicular line on the surface. So light get reflected in such a way so that the angle made by the incident ray with the normal, it is always equal to the angle made by the reflected ray with the normal. So both these angles of incidence and angle of reflection, both are same. So this is the law, first law, which is followed by the light. So angle of incidence, it is always equal to angle of reflection. Another law is that this incident ray, reflected ray, and this normal on the surface, all these three lie in the same plane. So reflected ray, incident ray, and normal, they all lie in the same plane, right? So these two laws are always followed whenever light follows the reflection phenomena. Okay, so whenever you will find the topic or concept of reflection of the light or situation of reflection of the light, you should always assume these two laws that light is following always during the reflection. So these are called as the laws of reflection. Okay, now the reflection has got different types. First one is the reflection. It is the kind of reflection, it is called as the regular reflection. This is the kind of reflection, whether it is regular reflection or second one is the irregular, or it is also called as the diffused reflection. Whatever reflection is there, laws of reflections are always followed. So how do we understand the regular reflection and irregular or diffused reflection? Let us explain first the regular reflection. So regular reflection is this. Suppose that we have a surface just like this. This is the we can say shaded portion or face of the, we can say, optical surface. Not just optical but opaque surface, and upper surface is we can say reflecting surface. So for this, suppose that there are a number of light rays are coming towards this surface which are parallel to each other. So all these incident light rays are coming to the surface. These are parallel to each other. 1, 2 and 3, we can give it name. How many? There can be any number of rays. So all these light rays which are coming parallel to the surface, from the surface they move in such a direction so that after reflection they again remain parallel to each other. So whenever light rays coming parallel to each other are incident on a surface, they get reflected in such a way so that they remain parallel to each other. Such a kind of reflection, it is called as regular reflection. This is because at every for every ray the angle of incidence will be same. So if angle of incidence will be same, if angle of incidence will be same for the first light rays, for the second, and then for the third, just like this. This is angle of incidence for the first light ray, this is the angle of incidence for the second, and this is the angle of incidence for the third light. All these angle of incidence for all the rays will be same. That's why they will be parallel to each other. Then that means their angle of reflection according to the this law of first law of reflection will be same. So that means they will move along the same direction after the reflection. Okay, so such a kind of reflection, it is called as regular reflection. And what is the requirement for such type of refraction to happen? The surface should be smooth. So for a smooth surface the regular reflection will happen. So in such a way this surface or this object here, it will be visible only from these three positions, right? But in general practice, in your day-to-day life, you already know that you can see the object from different points or different positions. Suppose that there is an object, it can be seen from different positions. It is because the of irregular, or we can say diffused reflection. Irregular or diffused reflection. So let us try to understand what is this irregular or diffused reflection. Suppose that again we have a surface, reflecting surface, on which the light rays are coming parallel to each other, just like this. Okay, so all these light rays are coming parallel to each other, but after reflection from this surface they follow different directions, right? They follow different directions. So this is 1, this is 3, and this is 2. they are not parallel after reflection. This is because the angle of incidence for each and every light ray will be different. And why it will be so? Because what is the condition for irregular or diffuse reflection to happen? The condition is that the surface should be rough. So it should be a rough surface, only then the diffuse reflection or irregular reflection takes place. So that means this object is visible, this object placed here, it will be visible from all the different positions, right? So how does a rough surface will be? Howsoever smooth it may be, for the light of such a small wavelength, the surface will be quite irregular. So for a rough or irregular surface, you can also call it to be the irregular surface. The light will get reflected in such a way so that all light rays which are incident parallel on the surface will get reflected back along different directions, not along the same direction. So it is due to the irregular or diffuse reflection we are able to see an object from different locations. Okay, so that's all about reflection. However, this topic of reflection, it is omitted out from your syllabus for this session. However, we are taking just basic we can say topics of this the chapter, so that our understanding of next chapter becomes easy. So that's all for now. Thank you.